Even the paper was not made. At that time, if Quran tells us about something which is proved in the scientific age by the science, confirmed by the science, so really it is a big player for a Muslim. That Quran Majid, Furqan Hamid is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All the verses of Quran, these are the truths, real truths. These are the ultimate realities of the universe. So many years ago, when people were not in the scientific age, then the kuffar used to make objections on the Islamic teachings. Let me quote you a simple example to just get started to understand what I want to say. Rasulullah ﷺ told in one of the ahadith that the bad person is punished in the grave, but the noise of punishment is heard by the animal and the other creation, but not by the human being. Human beings, they cannot hear it. The rest of the creation, they can. Now when they used to read this, they used to make objections. How it is possible? If the animals can listen it, why the human beings cannot listen it? So at that time, it was really difficult to make them understand why there is a difference. Now, in the scientific age, science has investigated the truth. For every human being, there is a band of frequency in which he can hear. For example, from 2000 Hz to 20,000 Hz, in between, he can hear any voice. But if the voices of the frequency below 2000 are higher than 20,000, he cannot hear it. So its example is just like the frequency of the radio. That if you set your needle on the right frequency, you can see what is in the air, you can hear it. Otherwise you will not. So similarly, to listen, every human being has a band of frequency. Now the band of frequency for the animals is much, much wider than the human being. Even in this scientific age, in some of the research laboratories, the cats and dogs, they are kept. Why? Because whenever there is an earthquake, then before the earthquake, there is always a big sound coming from the earth, which human being cannot understand. It's in much higher frequency. But the animals, they can understand it. And then they act in certain way that the scientists, they can understand that after some time there is going to be an earthquake. And it happens. So people have confirmed that the listening of the animals is much wider band than the human beings. Nowadays, a small instrument has been made. This is for the mouse. You know, when there are wheat go down and maize go down, then the mouse, they come in and they destroy the commodity, whatever there is. Now the growers, the owners, they are sometimes very upset. Now they want